Welcome back to part 2 of Focus 2, and we're going to be discussing self-assessments. So ultimately, why take a self-assessment? It teaches you and you learn about who you are in a little bit different fashion. You learn about how your interest plays a role in your personality, leisure, values, and skills, how they all correlate to come up with different occupations, which that is the true founding of why you would take an assessment. So first off, let's look at the work interest. When you first get on this site, it's going to look like this, where it's just going to say start, start, start. You'll click start. You'll answer the questions along the way. Not at all, slightly degree, moderate degree, high degree versus, wow, I would love this job, very high degree. Once you complete all of those areas, then you will have your results. At the end of the results, it's going to tell you exactly what this means, and it's based on John Hollen's Code, and it's saying that this person is an ASC, Artistic Social Conventional. What does that mean? Scroll on down and you will be educated a little bit about what that truly means. What's very beneficial is John Hollen basically stated, who created this assessment aspect, is if you really have a high interest level in your job, guess what? You're going to enjoy your job. So that's why it is very important. So when we actually look at the different occupations, let's look at broadcast news analyst. It's going to give us an overview. It's going to, clicking the show all, and it's going to line me up with a broadcast news analyst. So it's going to say, well, I'm not as artistic as what needs to be, but pretty darn close, very close with social. I'm a little more conventional, realistic. Enterprising, I'm kind of lacking, but not to the great extent of having a huge valley of a mountain versus a valley. And then investigative. So this would be actually a good choice. This is based on every single career occupation that you pull up will have this Hollen Code based on it. And when you actually look at any other career choice, even outside, and let's say down here from what I mentioned on part 1, explore any occupation, if I look at any occupation, it's always going to line me up with that individual. So that is something very beneficial. Lastly, if you do your personality, when you do your personality, it's going to give you an end result. You're basically going to be forced to answer one or the other. And what this allows us to know is, why do you want to work? What's your passion? So how does that answer that? Not necessarily up here, but why do I want to work? I want to work where I can offer a variety of intellectual challenges and opportunities for research and solving problems. That is my core passion. That is why I want to work. So anytime that you look at these, that's going to give you that passion aspect. And then it also gives you examples. So if you're going, oh, what? Then it's going to say such fields as sciences, engineering, information system, math, technological research. It's going to line you up. And then when you click continue, it's going to show occupations that match within that area also. Same thing when you look at your leisure activity. When you look at leisure, it's going to tell you which areas, the creator, the thinker, the persuader. And the persuader and the inquiring is a little bit lower. So the creator aspect really comes through. So that's the biggest thing, is looking at these areas. So you now know within something that your extremely enjoyable aspect of life, these are the career aspects that correlate. Then you have your values assessment. Values assessment is extremely easy to complete. You're just choosing your top 3 values. I highly suggest that you read every single value here and the little description underneath. So you could sit there and look at the different areas and then say continue. Within this area, it will allow us to see your top 3 areas, and it's saying that there's no occupations matched all 3 values. So click here to redo the assessment because these are kind of off. But if I took off the artistic and I put in physical things, then I could continue, and it's going to show probably at least something that correlated between the three. So the correlation between helping others, physical things, and working outdoors, I could choose associate's degree 2 years or bachelor's or advanced degree. You could always take anything off and update it, and be very cautious when you do that because it took off some of the areas. But it does show 2 of the 3 values being utilized and looking at those areas. Lastly, you also have your skills assessment. So skills assessment is identical. You're choosing your top 3 skills. And then at the end, it's going to show you the occupations that match those skills areas. Most of the time, you have very little that matches all 3 skills, but within the majors that match 2 of the 3 is typically a little bit longer.